Okay, we're filming.
Okay, Carol, and whomever else you got a hearing. What we're going to do is we're going to make stuffing. I have fresh everything. This is sage, that's fresh. This is thyme, that's fresh. So you can freeze in thyme. Okay. Let me see. So with fresh stuff, you pull the leaves down. Okay. But if you're making it like in a, you want to put it on top of a turkey while it's cooking, you can just lay the sprigs on top of it and it's no big deal. But anyway, so I'm just going to do this a little. Okay. And you basically are going to make it to taste, but fresh are more potent, obviously, than the other ones that are dried and already in a container. So this you don't need as much of. I got a bar of butter. Now you know me, the more the butter, the better. Okay. The other thing too is if you want, you can always use margarine, but it'll never taste the same. So what you're going to do is you're going to melt your butter. I turn it on low because you don't want to scorch it. And the other thing is I can add water to near the end of this, but if you want, you can use chicken broth to make it moist, and that way you have more of a chicken flavor if you don't plan to stuff it in a bird or whatever. Okay. Oh my gosh, the cat. Anyway, so I have made a lot of breadcrumbs or bread cubes, and for me, like you know, you get the bread you like and break it up into small pieces. You can cut it that way, or you can pull it that way, whatever. Or you can even cheat and put it in regular breadcrumbs, bread cubes from a bag, which doesn't taste as good, I don't think. I think it's just so bagged and so full of preservatives that it's really, honestly, it's better just to get the day-old stuff from your local grocery store. Okay. Now, Rachel had a sage tree still outside that's producing, so we got the fresh stuff off the tree. I'm going to cut the ends off if you're using fresh. And sage is very strong.
Mm-hmm. The sage being strong.
Yeah. So you can avoid having the cat falling into your frying pan. Get out of here. Go on, stop hugging the lamp.
Mommy, are you chilly?
That's fine. Anyway. Move the butter around a little. Try to get the cat.
He's figuring it's warm.
Now, yesterday, I made sure I took the time and prepped this part. I took a red and a white onion, a Vidalia, I think it was, or yellow. And I cut everything up as small as I can get it. Naturally, the smaller it is, the faster it's going to cook. If you give yourself really big chunky stuff,
it'll take forever.
It'll take a while. And what you're going to do is you're going to cook this on the stove in your butter on medium until your stuff is, you can see through it. Okay? Translucent. That's the word I wanted. Okay? Now, it looks like I have red and I have the lighter skin onion. And to keep yourself from crying, you throw it in the freezer so you'll freeze it up and it'll keep you from weepiness when you're cutting your onion up.
That or the food processor?
Well, the food processor, they're nice. It will pulverize
that's true.
your onion and your celery to the point where you really can't chunk your way through it. It's more like a
slap chop.
A puree.
Slap chop will work.
And you really honestly want to be able to see vegetables in it, not so much as say, why the heck are they? Alright? So, this is going to cook. Increase your heat to medium-high, depending on what else you're doing. And as that's cooking, you can, like I said, ready your thyme and your sage. I put pepper, thyme, and sage in it when it's cooking. Later, when it starts to change into that translucent, see-through, light color. You can do it earlier, but you know, it's up to you. If you just want to throw it all in once and forget it, that's fine. Now, when it comes to measuring out how much you want of your sage and thyme, it really is going to depend, on the size of your turkey that you're using. Let me see. For me, it is probably like a half a tablespoon of sage. Okay, and that's the dry stuff. On the fresh stuff, I would say around about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 leaves, because mine I'm cooking a lot of. But the thing with this kind of thing is you can always add more if you need it at the end. So always taste it, but if it doesn't taste very sagey to you or like it's missing something, put a little bit more. You ground in there, but carefully add a little bit at a time and then taste it. You don't want to add a whole lot and not sure of, not really sure of how much you should put in. It really all depends on your taste, on how sagey you want it. Same thing with the thyme. You know, it's really like a teaspoon of thyme that goes in. And I'm going to probably need a little bit more leaves than what's showing. Try to make sure if you do use fresh that you don't put the stems in there, because that'll make you crazy. Feel like you're trying to floss your teeth and eat. Now, any kind of bread's going to be good. In it. You want?
Just slide a spoon. Got about 5 more minutes left of the video.
Okay. So, you're going to do that. And when you get it down to your translucent, taste it. See how you like the flavor. If the flavor doesn't taste good, like it's got not enough of something, go ahead and add whatever flavor you think it's going to be missing. When it gets to the translucent part and you have already tasted it, you've got it to the flavor you want, you can add, make sure you have your pepper in there. If you want to add salt, I would suggest waiting until you get your breadcrumbs in. Here's my breadcrumbs. I put them in a pie container, a cake box, so I don't have to worry about it, and it locks in there. Okay? You can open it up and leave it stale out, so it'll get rid of some of that moisture that bread normally has. But me, I just use this regular. I have pumpernickel, potato, and a wheat. No, it's a rye, and I have rye. So you can use anything. I know you like using your wheat, and that'll work. So when you get it all translucent, you can either add water to bring up the moisture so your stuffing will be wet, or you can use chicken broth instead of the water to do the same. Just add a little bit extra flavor and that'll be good. You ought to let your onions and so forth cool down a little bit before you try to handle them, because it will burn your hand. And that's it. Bon appetit!